Okay, for today's webinar, we are going to talk about the consensus estimate. So we have conducted a few webinars series previously. So last week is about the fact set, in terms of fact sheet. So this week we are talking about a consensus estimate. I'm Shareinvestor Ling, Group Managing Director of Shareinvestor Group, and also a founder of Investing Note. So just a disclaimer before we start the webinar. So today there's no recommendations or anything. It's just purely for education purpose. For the Shareinvestor.coms, we have actually undergo a lot of efforts to revamp the whole platforms. So for Shareinvestor platforms, today we are going to talk about the new ones and how actually you can use the consensus estimate. And so overall for Shareinvestor platforms, for you guys who are not familiar, basically it's an essential investment tool for investors and traders. And there's a lot of features actually over here. We have fact sheets. Basically, under fact sheets, we have cover a lot of things about the individual companies, like for example, financial performance, price analysis, consensus estimates, insider trades, everything. There's also portfolio and watch list. So for the new version of Shareinvestor platforms, we have spent a lot of efforts actually in terms of portfolios. So you can do a lot of things like real-time performance trackings in terms of portfolio, and that do cash allocations management, auto dividend trackings, and a lot of features over there. And we also have technical charts as well. I know a lot of you guys maybe, doing a lot of the charting analysis. So we have a full suite of a charting service over here. And we also have, overall market analysis tool. So basically you can use this tool to analyze the broader markets, informations, like for example, stock screener, stock prices, consensus estimates. But today, actually, we are going to focus more on the consensus estimates. So how do you guys access to the new shareinvestor.com? Uh, can I have, if you guys are already Shareinvestor members, can you guys actually type in the chat to say one, so we know actually how many members? Um, okay, so let's start Shareinvestor members here. So if someone is saying, are you guys sharing screen? Are you guys able to see my screen? If you guys can see it, can someone type yes? Okay, great, great, fantastic. Okay. Okay, so let me continue. So I see a lot of Shareinvestor members here. So if let's say you are using the existing Shareinvestor members websites over here, you can see over here on top, there's this a classic mode. So basically classic mode is the one that you are seeing right now, the existing shareinvestor.com. But once you click on it, you are able to go to the new Shareinvestor website. And at the same time, I think for this past 1 week, you have seen a lot of pop-up in shareinvestor.com as well for you guys to try the new shareinvestor.com. So you can see here, you can click try out now over there. Or else you can actually go to new.shareinvestor.com, to experience the whole site. So what is actually, included in Shareinvestor's consensus estimate? So what is consensus estimate? Consensus estimate basically is a figure that is based on combined estimates of the analysts covering a public company. So I believe a lot of guys actually you are invest in the markets, right? You read the research reports, issued from, let's say, your remisiers or brokers sent to you guys. So that one is considered as one research report. So they will tell you that what is their analysis of the company, what is their target price for the company as well. But consensus estimate basically is we are not just looking at one research report, but it's actually combined, all the research reports issued by the research analysts for each individual companies over there. So with this consensus estimates, right? So basically you're able to find out, the consensus recommendation and the target price, for the research analysts. And the key strength over here is we have over 70 contributors from the local and international research houses. So not just about in Singapore side, we have Malaysia, US, Hong Kong, Thailand, Indonesia, Australia. So we cover actually 7 markets over here. And for each of these, individual companies' consensus estimate, there are more than 30 data points over here. There's more than just about the target price, right? There's also like a, financial, forward financial estimates, what is going to happen for the company in the next 2 to 3 years. What is actually, estimates in terms of the revenue, their profit and loss, and what is the financial ratios, estimate for the next 2 to 3 years as well. And those estimates basically is collected in real time, is powered by FactSet, and it's actually updated on daily basis. And then on the platform, you are able to see actually up to 2 years of historical data also for the estimates. So how do you access the market consensus estimate? So basically we break down the two segments. First segment is actually the overall market consensus estimate. So you can see that, under the each markets, which company, has the buy call from the research analyst, which company has a sell call from the, research analyst. So we part under the market. So this is where you want to find some opportunity in the overall market. So under the menu section, there's this market tab. So you can click on that. In the drop down, there's a consensus estimate. I know the screenshot is a bit small, but don't worry. Later, I will do a live demos. So under the market consensus estimates, so you'll be able to see these charts. So for example, this screenshot shows under the whole SGS markets, right? So on the left side, you can see basically it's a stock that shows have a strong sell caused by the analysts. So you can look at charts basically as a X axis and Y axis. So X axis basically shows that what is the potential upside. To the right side, it means it has a higher upside potential. But on the x-axis, basically, is a consensus rating. Is it a buy call from the analyst or is it a sell call, and it's from the analysts. So on the top right quadrant, it actually represents the stock which has the buy recommendations and potentially has a higher upside potentials, from the analysts. So that's how you actually look at these charts to find some opportunities in the market. If you want to assess individual companies' consensus estimate, right? Let's say you have one company you want to do more research on, and you want to see that whether you want to buy or sell on the stocks, or what do you have to do if you already have the stocks. And this is where you want to look for the individual company's consensus estimate. So you go to the homepage, right? You can actually, there's a very big search bar over here. So you can search the company based on the name or the stock code, and you are able to actually have this pop up to show the list of menus for each individual company. And then you can click on this bank. For example, in this case, this is an example DBS, that if it brings you to the consensus estimates page. So under the individual company's consensus estimation, there's a lot of information over here. One glance, you see these very colorful things over here, which shows the overall consensus estimate. In this case, this is a DBS bank as a screenshot, so it shows overweight. So there's five ratings actually for the analysts over here. There's a buy, there's a overweight, there's a hold, underweight, and sell. So let me just give briefly sharing in terms of what does it mean for those who don't really understand what is this estimates. So buy means actually, research analysts, feel that this company is, have a good potential. So if let's say you don't have this stock yet, their recommendation is you can buy. If let's say you already have the stock in your portfolio, so the recommendation is actually allocate more. So it's a buy. So overweight and underweight, right? So these names might be a bit confusing for some people, but it actually comes from actually, the portfolio index, concept. So under each index, right, there's this component stocks. So there's a different kind of stock have a different kind of weightage inside. So when we say overweight, it means that, in your portfolio, the research analyst is recommending maybe you can consider to increase your portfolio allocations for these underlying stocks to increase the weightage. So that's called overweight. And, and generally, when it issue this kind of rating, it means that the research analyst feels that it might have potential actually to perform better than the underlying benchmark index over there. So the next one is actually hold. So hold is actually quite clear. So it means you don't really have to do anything. So basically, the research analysts feel that the stocks actually might be performing following the index, so you don't have to, increase the stake, or decrease actually your weightage over there. So underweight, it means, you can potentially reduce your exposure for this stock or reduce your weightage in your portfolio for these stocks. And sell is actually much more clear. So it means that if you already have the stocks, or you can consider, do you want to sell for that? Or if let's say, if you don't have the stocks yet, this is the potential of a short selling opportunity over there. So these are actually the 5 great ratings, over there, but different kind of a research house might be use different names, strong buys, strong sell, all those. But generally, this is actually the 5 ratings that, we use. And if you look at these 5 ratings over here, it also corresponding actually to a number. So you can see on the screenshot, this is 1.44 over here, consensus rating. So what does it mean? So there's a 5 grades over here, and there's a different kind of research analyst given different kind of course over here, right? So we want to actually compute the average ratings from each, from the overall markets over here. So we have to do a mathematics to calculate for this. So if it's a buy, the corresponding rating is 1. If it's sell, corresponding is 3. And overweight is 1.5, hold is in the middle, which is 2, and underweight is 2.5. So with all these numbers, right, if let's say you give me a 3 research analyst rating based on this number, we are able to calculate the average for this. So this is what it means by the consensus rating in the number terms. And the number is smaller, it means actually it's closer to buy opportunity. If the number actually, close to 3, it means, probably is, it's a sell opportunity, or short selling opportunity for you, in these markets. And then on the screenshot, it shows actually the 17 number of ratings over here also. It shows basically is under the stock, how many research analysts have issued, the research report or estimates for this company. And this is actually 17, from this. And then the mean target price over here, because different kind of research analysts give a different kind of target price over here. And then this mean target price is the average of the target price that we collected over here. And it also shows you that what is the minimum target price issue from there and what is the max. So in this case, you can see over here, the range is 31.9 to 43.1, and the average is 39.466, by the way, if you guys have got any questions, there's a Q&A box over here, so you can actually type in over there. Later, I will answer some of those questions as well. Okay, so come back to here. On a screenshot, it says upside, right? So there's a number term, 0.954, and there's also in the percentage term. So that means, if let's say the target price is achieved, which is 39.469, 464, what is the upside potentials over here in the absolute numbers and percentage terms? Okay, so just share one more things about the individual company's estimates. So there's these charts over here. If you look at this red lines over here, and I know it's a bit complicated, but it's actually very useful charting over here. The red line shows the historical mean target price over the past 2 years. So you can see the research analyst ratings, is it increasing or is it decreasing? So the trend actually for the past 2 years. And the blue line basically shows the underlying stocks movements over here. So you can see a comparison between the underlying stocks price movements and also the consensus estimates actually, movements over here. And then for each bar actually represents 1 month over here. And it will shows that, how many ratings are there for each. So green means actually buy and overweight, so the very green one is a buy, light green one is actually overweight. So one example here, right? So let's say the last column, last bar over here, September 2024. So there's 53 ratings, buy ratings on this company, and then 18 actually overweight ratings over here, and 24 issue whole ratings over here. And the red color actually represents sell, which is a 6 ratings, 6 research analysts say sell, for this. So basically, this is how you actually interpret the chartings over here. So let me go to the platform and do a demo. Okay, so just now I share, right, how do you toggle between the classic Shareinvestor.com and new Shareinvestor.com. So this is the existing Shareinvestor.com that you guys have been using. So you can actually click here, try out now, or actually click here, the toggle the classic mode, to come here. We know that actually some users might be, get used to the existing site. So that's why actually we have this classic, buttons on top right corner here for some users who want to, quickly go back to the previous site to, use the information platform because you might need some time actually to experience a new one. Okay, so this is a new platform. It's actually very modern. One of the big things actually is actually mobile responsive also. So if you can, open your mobile phone, your iPad, so these sites actually fits in very well in the mobile screen. So you can actually on a go to browse the platforms and actually find information that you need. So just now we were talking about consensus estimates. So if you want to overall, find out overall markets, consensus estimate, you go to the markets and there's this consensus estimates over here. So, okay, sorry, let me just click one more time, consensus estimate. Okay, so you can see that these are the markets we cover, AJAX, Bursa, Thailand, Indonesia, Australia, US, right? So let's use, let's say AJAX as examples over here. Minimum number ratings means, in order for you to show this chart, right, how many ratings you require? Some people might feel that if let's say there's only one ratings from one research analyst, you don't want to be bothered. Some people say that, hey, maybe I need more than five to become meaningful. So you can choose over here, choose five ratings. So it means the results that you're going to see, it has minimum number of ratings of five, like for example, this one, right? uh, on the top right columns over here, remember I shared with you, this is actually the potential upside. And this is the consensus, recommendation on the x-axis and y-axis over here. So on the top right quadrant here, it shows Citron, it also shows UOL, accessories, this is a company over here. And let's say one example, Citron's upside is 45.93 potential, recommendation is buy, and then there's number ratings is 9. So this is actually how you see it. And if you want to actually find out more information, you can actually click on it. Let's say this UOL. You can click on this dot over here. It will bring you to UOL's consensus estimates over here. Okay. So before you go into individual, let's go back to the whole markets first. And then same thing for other markets also. You can toggle, let's say, to Bursa as well, 5 ratings or 8 ratings. Then you can see the companies over here, how many upside potentials over here. This is actually for you to screen, some of those potential investment opportunities over there in the markets. At the bottom, it shows the top buy cost and also the top sell cost in the markets. It's also based on your filterings on top also based on the number of ratings over here. And how do they sort on this, right? Basically, is two factors. One is actually consensus rating. Remember, I said that the numbers, right, if it's closer to one, it means actually closer to buy call. Sell actually represent the three. If you forget this, don't worry. You can scroll down. So there is also show you here in the notes over here. Buy corresponding to one in terms of scale, sell corresponding to three. So that's why I mean that's how it's sort on this table. Most upside potentials, so you can see this is 1 point. Oh, sorry, let me come back to here. Top by call, rating to one, but at the same time, if I just filter based on the number of ratings also, six ratings, and you can see look at this potential upside also. That is what's called 60, close to 60 upside potentials. So looks exciting, but then you need to do all the analysis actually before you make any decisions over here. Okay. So same thing for the top sell call also, consensus rating. Remember, if it's closer to three, it's closer to a sell call over there. And this is number of ratings, number of research analysts issued this call over here. And there's also most upside potentials in terms of percentage terms over here. And this is the most downside potential, in terms of percentage terms as well. So, but don't just look at the percentage return as well, look at number of ratings as well, and also trying to find out more about, why research analysts is actually giving this, ratings. So you can make better informed decisions. So let's go back to individual companies, so let's say you want to research on, let's say Singapore side, so example, DBS, okay, search DBS. So this is actually shows all the quick navigation bars for DBS over here. But you want to go to consensus estimate, you can click here, consensus estimate. So just a quick recap, actually in the fact sheet, basically, we aggregate all the information about individual companies over here. That is a DBS. You can see the overview, the news about DBS, all the financial results, price analysis, events calendar, all this is actually related to DBS. So it's actually very easy for you to navigate around, for this. So let's look at this consensus estimate. And do you notice something? When I scroll down, right, this whole bar will stick over here. So you can still look at the share price of DBS, over here, which is brilliant. So DBS, you look at this, right now actually is overweight in terms of rating, 1.44, not so bad, quite close to 1. And 17 number of ratings, which is normal because this is one of very big banks over here. And a lot of research analysts has to cover for that. This is the mean target price, based on, the research analyst average, of that. And outside might not be too high. It's 2.53 based on research analysts over here. One thing interesting is also the estimate changes over the past. You want to see that, what does the research analyst think, in the past 1 year or 6 months or 3 months, how does it change? Let's say 1 year. So target price change has been increasing, by 14%. So target price actually issued 1 year ago, average target price, average by the research analyst was 34. Right now it's actually 39. So it has been increasing actually, means the research analysts have been a bit more positive in the company, in the past 1 year. And this is a revenue, it's a forecasted revenue for the research analysts. It's also forecasting, they are a bit more positive on that, the revenue, they see that it might increasing, which is, by 8%. Profitability as well, it means overall, the research analyst the past 1 year has been thinking that, DBS will have more revenue, a higher probability, a higher target price actually for that. This is how you interpret, the changes in the past. And look at this, the charts. So it plot, in details for you guys. So just now I share, right? The red color bar is actually, red color chart is actually the consensus estimate average price, for each month, for this. One bar is actually 1 month. The blue one is actually the underlying share price. And one thing to take note, right, is when a research analyst issue a buy or sell call, right, on this, right, with the target price, right, generally they're looking at 6 to 12 months, time frames. So it doesn't mean actually I say buy, the target price is $40. It means actually tomorrow you're going to see $40. That's not what the research analyst means. So let's look at this, for example, I choose one bar, for example, last year, 2023, October. At that time, you mouse over, the actual price is $30, but target price, right, is $34. So at that time, the average research analyst is saying that, hey, the upside, there's still upside for DBS, and the upside potential is about 12%. And then you see what happens. And it doesn't mean, it's going to happen real time, right? It happens actually in the next 6 or 12 months. That's the research analyst thinking. So 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And you see the underlying price is actually, it does, hit actually the target price. Just now we're saying, right, 34, so the actual price, is also 33. So come out to 1 more month, it's about 34 already. So you can validate, to see that, hey, when research analysts actually make a buy and sell call on this, in the next 6 or 12 months, actually, does the underlying company really actually, move according to what the research analyst is forecasting or not? So this is one way for you to so-called back test in your mind to see that, how accurate actually, how much trust you can, rely on for this research analyst on this. Okay, so you can also actually, filter, some of those also. But okay, let's see this. So you can actually click, so let's say you don't want to see the buy call. So you can actually unclick all those, and then you can see, okay, this is on the buy cost movements over here, So and you can also just look at, sell cost. So it's really up to you. It's actually quite flexible, the whole charts. And then forward estimates, so we also provide not just about the ratings and the target price. There's also this forward estimates, in terms of the financials. So this is actually an estimate, and it's actually the average. So you mouse over, you can see that in terms of revenue, forecast for next 3 years, right? The average, is show over here, right? But let's also shows you what is the highest revenue forecast from the research analyst and what is the lowest forecast over here. So you can make a better, estimates yourself, for this revenue forecast. And it also shows the chart also, you see the bars. So generally, actually, the research analyst a bit more bullish. The revenue is actually, the forecast is going to increase, over here. So this bars actually the trends shows very clearly, what's going to happen for them. And dividends as well, right? So dividends, they are also forecasting that it might increase as well, for this. So this is a bar over here, total dividends per share. Yeah. It's not just about the three key financial statements, the balance sheet, like cash flow. It also, calculate for you the key financial ratios as well in terms of estimate. There's a EPS, so we calculate for you. There's also the highest, average, and lowest as well. Same thing for other key ratios over here. So this is actually will be very useful for those people who actually really study, more in terms of the fundamental analysis, and you need these actually ratios to guide you in terms of your investment decisions, for that. Okay, so I have, done a demo in terms of platform. So I will actually come to the Q&A sessions. Okay, let me see any questions from you guys. Okay. Just a moment. Let me start sharing first. Okay, there's some questions here. For the mean target price, what is the validity of the period? Okay, so for the target price, right? Just how I mentioned, actually, when actually the research analyst issues a target price, it means actually, they will estimate for the next 6 or 12 months, actually, they forecast actually the target price is going to hit. So this is actually the first point. Second point is also right for the research analyst, when they issue this, right? If let's say in the next 100 days, if they are not going to cover for the stock, actually we will actually the fact that actually remove, in terms of actually the estimates also. So there's this called a fact set. I mean, the windows actually issued by the fact set. So if let's say in the next 100 to 180 days, if let's say research and no longer cover for that, right, it actually remove from there. But this is actually too much detail for you. But it actually generally means actually, if you look at this consistent target price, right, for the next 6 or 12 months, that's expected, the high friends that you should look at. Okay, so some of the questions I think is already answered. Let me see any other questions.
Jason, I think there's some in
Yes,
the webinar chat.
the chat. Okay. Thanks, Daniel. Let me see. Okay. Is there information on respective target price from the respective analyst? Okay, so for this, right, it's a consensus estimate. So we don't actually give you who, the names of the research analysts, and for that, it's actually the overall target price actually you look at, you know. And the mean target price is for next 6 months or next 1 year. This one I already shared just now. So generally, it actually means for the next 6 or 1 year's time frame. What is the difference between the mean target price compared to intrinsic value or fair value? Okay, so mean target price basically is actually issued by the research analysts, based on their analysis. So how do research analysts analyze for this, right? There's some models behind, so they can actually based on, let's say, they want to calculate the intrinsic value for the company, they can use the discounted cash flow model, whatever model actually research analysts actually, feel that it's actually fair for the company, or they think it's actually better to reflect the company situation, they will use it, right? But the mean target price is estimate for the research analyst. But the intrinsic value or fair value, like shown on some website, basically, they are based on some models. And this is actually like, for example, just I mentioned about discounted cash flow model. You need to apply some discount factors or those. It will affect so-called the intrinsic value or fair value calculation for that. And it's actually really subject to each individual investors, valuations for that. So don't mix up these two. Intrinsic value calculations can be done by yourself, but there's some assumptions being used, and you have to come up with assumptions, how much discount, factors do you want to use for the next few years. How often is this mean target price updated, monthly or quarterly? Okay, so just now I share, right? Every day we receive the data, actually from our provider on FactSet, and every day actually we will update for that. But the research analyst actually, it doesn't mean every day they will issue a new target price for the company. Generally, if let's say there's some, major updates from the company, for example, financial result release and everything, right? And the research analyst actually might be actually issuing a new target price or revised target price, and that will actually if reflected actually over there. At the same time, if let's say there's a new company, research house start to covering for that company, that average target price might change also. So it really depends on, whether there's a new research report issued by the research analyst or there's any other, company start to covering the company also. Can we tell the financial company that provides a 17 ratings for DBA? This one I shared just now, so you are not able to see the breakdown. You can see the individual, you can see the consensus, data for this. How to find most undervalued stocks? Okay, so this one, right, is not for you to find the most undervalued stock or most valued stock. It's actually, to show you that based on the research analyst thinking, which company has higher potentials, which company has the lower potential. Again, the disclaimer is actually based on research analysts on that. And you can use, just now I showed with you, right, what is the highest potential, based on the consensus estimate. You can use that to filter, for this. Please explain again the two upside percentage blocks beside the mean target price. Okay, let me share one more time for that. Okay, the 2%. Okay, so I think you mean this. Okay, so you guys can see the website, right? So I think you're asking about this upside potentials over here. So again, let's say we use this DBS example. So right now, the current price is 38.49. And the mean target price, again, this means the average target price for all the research reports, 17 of them, right? The average price is 39.46. 4. So if you use 39.464 minus 38.49, you're going to get this 0.947974, which is the upside potential. So it means if you buy now, and if you trust that, the research analysts say that in the next 6 to 12 months, it's going to hit this target price, you are potentially making this, 0.974 per share, for that. And if you translate into the percentage return, it's 2.53%. That's how you interpret these numbers over here. That's just one more example. Let's say Maybank, for example. Show some Malaysia example. Consensus estimate. Okay, so Maybank, this is a 5.13% upside. So again, it's the same thing. 11.205. From $10.66 to 11.25, you have 0.547 upside, per share. But in the percentage returns, wise, it's actually 5.13%. That's how you see these numbers. Okay, let me see any more questions. Daniel, is there any more questions actually? Let me see.
I
I
think that's
think, yeah, we
all.
cover more or less everything actually for that. But if you guys have any further questions, right, my colleagues also type in the chat. You can actually reach out to us at admin@shareinvestor.com or accounts.my@shareinvestor.com. So you can actually email us, or you can message on the Facebook also, for this. And oh, thank you. I saw Alan say great job. Thank you, for your support on this. And for those users, who have not tried shareinvestor.com, you can actually try, because we have this free trial also, for this membership plans. You can go to here. and then you can actually experience the power of shareinvestor.com. You can try the free trial over here. Okay. Okay, so sorry, just one more question I saw. Do we need to re-enter the watch list? Look, so you don't need to. So the data between the new shareinvestor.com and the existing shareinvestor.com is synced. So okay, so if you go to shareinvestor.com, right, all the data like portfolio transaction, all those is still there in your shareinvestor.com, the new one. But a watch list actually basically is something new that we created to separate between watch list and portfolio. But I won't go into detail. We have another session that will actually cover all these details. But the key message is that the data actually are synced between these two platforms. Okay, great. So I think we are come to the ends of this webinar. So I hope that you have something to take away from this, no matter its understanding of a consensus estimate or how to use the shareinvestor.com. So thank you very much, guys, for staying with us and enjoy lunch. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. Yeah, thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone.